Hi, I'm Rob. Welcome back to the Builder Investor Podcast. Today we've got Callum from Husslin for Houses. So I've wanted to get him on since I very first started because he was kind of the inspiration really, and I was one of his very first guests. So welcome, mate.
Thank you so much, Rob. Thank you so much.
No worries at all. If you want to tell everyone a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Callum Brennan from the Husslin with Houses page. Got my own podcast into property, into business, into all things business and property really. Started the podcast and you was actually my first guest.
Was I the actual first one?
Ever guest, yeah. So I appreciate that, and when you asked I was like, fucking most definitely I'll come on. I'd love to come on to repay the favour, and I'd love to come on anyway. You're a great guy and you're a good laugh, so yeah, happy to crack on, mate.
So obviously let's go back to your younger self then. Obviously I've literally just watched a podcast, to be honest, that you were on, another mate of mine named Scott.
Scott,
the property developer show, was it?
Yeah.
So I've kind of learned quite a little bit about you also as well through watching that. And when you go back as far as you have, obviously you've got quite an interesting past, haven't you?
Yeah.
You know, you've done all kinds of things before you actually got into property, which I massively applaud. So yeah, just tell us a little bit about that then. Where did you start out then?
You know what's funny? Everyone's been saying to me, like, you're doing this podcast, done like 50 episodes now, and we don't know anything about you. And then I went on Scott, and then a couple of people have messaged me, and like yourself and that. So going back to the start for me, I come out of school, and I'd done a plumbing course. I had no intention of doing plumbing. Yeah. I don't think anyway. I thought I did maybe at the time, and I remember picking a course knowing that it only went on for 2 days, so I could work the other days.
Yeah.
So I worked for my brother and my dad. And my brother and dad are window cleaners, so I worked for them. I done everything, Rob, literally for money. Some of the jobs I had, I was saying on Scott's podcast, I worked as a bloody extra once, being a bellboy, just doing anything for money, quite hard working. And I worked in levers and stuff like that, but I always knew the bigger picture was to be in property. However that was, I wanted to be involved in property, mostly property developments. And I thought the way of that, like I mentioned again on the podcast, was estate agency. So at the time I was working doing college. Then the other days of the week I was working with my brother, helping him out, and then the 2 days, Saturday, Sunday, that I had free, I'd work in levers, just doing factory work, just 12-hour shifts, just to stack my money and save, which I think's super important when you're quite young. It's super important anyway, but I made sure I stacked everything I could. And then the opportunity come about to my girlfriend's mum was at a party, and she knew that I wanted to get into a estate agency. Yeah. And she heard someone say, "Oh, I'm a manager of a estate agents." So she basically asked the question, "Are you looking for anyone?"
Is it a small independent now or big corp?
It's quite it's an independent, but I think it's the biggest independent in sort of Merseyside. Maybe even the Northwest, I could be wrong there, but it's the biggest independent in Merseyside, and it taught me. I was there for maybe 4 years, and it taught me a hell of a lot.
Yeah,
hell of a lot. I loved it. I loved every minute. And then towards the end, I never wanted to progress in there or anything like that. I just wanted to be the sales negotiator, learn what I could, learn about conveyancing, learn about how property works, and all that kind of stuff. And it taught me a hell of a lot. I kind of had this picture in my head that all estate agencies were developers and investors, and I was completely wrong, to be fair. Don't get me wrong, there was a couple in there, but yeah, that's how it sort of started. So I'd done that, and then within there I bought my first couple of properties.
Yeah, I mean, everyone bangs on about education and paying for education, how much it costs, and you've kind of been quite smart there. You've kind of, although you've got no kind of like, kids and the house and things like that, so it allows you to do that. But you've got yourself in a situation where you've gained knowledge, you know what I mean? You've picked things up, you've put yourself in that situation and basically built on your education within property, haven't you? So
most definitely.
Pretty smart move, to be fair.
Yeah, it was. And at the time as well, I was always listening to podcasts, I was always reading books, I was always educating myself on YouTube, which I think before you start paying anyone, in my opinion, that's what you should be doing.
Yeah.
I think you should be learning as much as you physically can without paying a penny out. That just might be the type.
Yeah, it'll help you to actually filter out the good and the bad kind of thing, because if you've got a little bit of knowledge yourself, you're going to pick up on what's being missold, basically. We see all this upsale stuff at the end of every tiny little course, and if you've got a bit of knowledge when you go to them, you know what I mean, hopefully it should kind of stop you falling within that trap of like paying silly money for a course that's basically going to get you nowhere, I would imagine. So
that's it, and that's why I done the estate. I done the estate agency thing, thinking that would teach me everything I needed to know. But I wasn't completely wrong. But it taught me the basics, and it did teach me conveyancing and how it works. And the big one was comparables, because it's a massive thing in property. You get your comparables wrong, then you're knackered. And I learned a lot of stuff like that. I knew what houses in the area sold like hotcakes. I knew what didn't. I knew what areas. Growing up in the area as well, you kind of know. I don't know if Stoke's like this, but where we are, one road is absolutely fine. The next road is like you don't want to go near it, and it's 5 seconds apart walk. It's just mad.
Yeah, well, we've got literally where I live. I can go 5 minutes, 10 minutes down the road and in a total shithole. Are you with me?
Yeah.
But then I can go 5-10 minutes the opposite way and be in the probably most prestigious part of Stoke. Are you with me?
Yeah.
It's because it's a small area. I don't know whether Liverpool and the Wirralls similarly. You've got.
It is, yeah, it is. It's a weird place in that sense. Like I say, I can picture a place in my head. I won't say it, but the middle road is just like mental. Like the shootings, they fucking rob each other's bins. They do all mad stuff like that. And then a few like the next road is absolutely fine, no trouble.
Footballers.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't go that far. Like footballers, yeah. No, but it absolutely sound. And we actually tried to buy one there, but it's just mad. It's just a crazy place like that. So that gave me knowledge of that, because again, even though it is only a small place, when you're working, and we covered a big area, so I got to know what roads are good, what roads are bad, what roads were sold like hotcakes, like I say. So
you're obviously seeing how quick things are selling and things like that. Oh, you with me? Give you insider knowledge to know, especially. I mean, I know you're into doing flips, aren't you?
Yeah.
So doing flips, that end result of actually selling the property and knowing where sells, what's going to sell quickly and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You've utilised that position that you were in, to help you to gain that knowledge, basically. And,
Well, I thought, like, when I remember when I thought we all thought the same. Like, this is stupid, but we all thought the same. Like, if me and you both see a house, we go, okay, that's really, really nice, and everyone would want that. But then there'd be some roads, like I can think of a road in my head, and I thought I wouldn't fancy living there, but every time it went on the market, that road, we know instantly
sold.
It would sell quickly. And it wasn't anything, in my eyes, it wasn't anything special, but just things like that. But yeah, I learned a lot from there, and then I managed to save a fair bit of money to get me money for my first property, and then it kind of stemmed from there, really.
Yeah. So what was your first purchase then for yourself?
My first purchase was a flat in Husslin, which was £70,000, and I only spent £7,000 on it. It was only a little flat, and it didn't need much work. Didn't need plastering, which is obviously a massive job. It didn't need really a rewire, just some bits sorting with the electrics. And I spent £7,000 on that, maybe 7.5, something like that. We converted from a 1-bed to a 2-bed. Yeah. And we ended up getting it valued at 100. I think it was worth more than that, because we got it valued for 100 and refinanced it, and it's now today that's worth 140. And it was only 2020. So
you still own
it now, yeah. Still own it now, and it's at first it was a great little earner, but as the rates have crept up, and I have took money out of twice, which I don't know if I should have done that, really. I'm starting to keep a rule in my head now. I'm only going to refinance things once, I think. Right. I don't know if that's silly or not. Maybe obviously if you have a massive uplift, but
I'm a little bit on the fence with it, because I can see there are some people out saying refinance once, leave it and let it basically appreciate, but I don't know. I'm also on the other side thinking, if there's money there to be taken out, in order to do, I think it's the reason you're going to take it out. What it's got to, you know what I mean? If you're going to take it out and bugger off on holiday with it, then that's fucking stupid. But to take it out and put it into another project that's going to earn you more money, you're kind of leveraging your money there, aren't you? So I'm kind of a little bit on the fence with it all.
Yeah, that's a good point, Matt, because like I say, I would never ever take money out my house to do anything else but buy a property or buy another business, maybe.
Well, I bet how old were you when you bought that flat?
21.
And I bet all your mates thought you were crazy. You're buying a flat. I bet they thought you were buying it to live in. Did you still stay at home with your parents?
Yeah. So basically, I moved out, and then basically we bought another flat, same area. Yeah. So we bought another flat in the same area straight after this, and everyone again thought it was crazy. Like, whoa, what's he up to? And then the intention was to live in it, and then we bought it in the boom, but that boom went on for maybe 6-12 months. So we bought it when it just started going crazy. Bought it for 90, and we were going to move in. And then what happened was, we seen once. We were thinking if we sell it, we get maybe 120, 130. Again, only spent maybe $8,000 on it. And one went on the market and sold for like 140, which wasn't that nice, to be honest. And ours was lovely. It was all done, paneling, new kitchen, new bathroom. So I thought, you know what? We were in Mexico at the time. I thought, you know what? We've got the estate agent. They basically had access to the keys, so I just said, you know what? Go and see it, see what you think, and just let's maybe get it on the market. Got it on the market 150, and it sold for 152. And obviously, we were intending to live in that, so it was like we never ended up living in it, but we moved into the first one as well and moved out. But
when you say we, do you mean you?
Me and my missus, me and my missus, So that's where we're at now, and we're just looking at purchasing a flat now for us to actually move into. But that's where we're sort of at with things,
Yeah, so what have you got on the cards at the minute? What are you doing we've got property-wise at the moment?
Yeah, so we've got a 3-bed terrace that we're doing at the moment, which is a beautiful. Again, we were going to move into this one, but it's hard when you see how much you can make. You kind of think, is it worth it? Is it not, sort of thing? And
well, I was speaking to who was it? Oh, sorry, no, I wasn't. I saw a video of like my old mentor Jamie York, and he put something on about the fact that he got 16 properties but still rented his own house. Are you with me? And everyone thought he was crazy. But it's kind of, we're in this business to kind of make money, aren't we? So when we see something that's going to have a cash flow, or like you sell, like that particular one, you're going to sell it and make a profit out of. It's hard to turn your cheek to it, and not do it. So I can understand it completely.
It is, and like I say, we got that back to that. We've got that one at the moment. We've got 2 in legals that we're meant to be completing in the next couple of weeks, and then we've got another.
How are you doing with conveyancing at the moment? Because it seems to be. I mean, I've got a really quick solicitor. She's really good, but even with her, who's normally turning stuff around in like 2 weeks, she's like really struggling at the minute. I don't know what's happening, but conveyancing seems to be dragging on at the minute forever.
I've always found it a ball ache, to be honest, conveyancing. I've always had struggles with it. The solicitor I've got now, she's amazing. I've got a feeling we might use the same person, to be honest, but I don't know.
Sarah,
yeah. So I thought we did. You must have recommended it to me.
Yeah, she's really good. Yeah,
she's brilliant. And it's just hard. It's just hard, isn't it? It's all good. You can have the best solicitor in the world, but if the other side solicitor's garbage, you're knackered, aren't you? So
you kind of got to, I don't know, get on the phone to the vendors, kind of nurture their solicitor as well, and you know what I mean. I was taught that by Jamie to basically nurture that sequence. You know what I mean? You've got a sequence where it goes into, well, not even before it goes into legals, you know, when they fill in that pack out originally. I've actively gone round to vendors' houses and sat with them and helped them fill that in to get it over, so we can get the ball rolling. Are you with me?
And it's hard if you don't know what you do. If you haven't done it before, it's hard fucking work, isn't it? It is hard work.
You just feel like you're banging your head against a brick wall sometimes, don't you? But I get what you're saying.
I've done a lot of direct to vendor stuff now, and they're so, with the conveyancing, they are so hard. That's why I always do say, not because I work for one, but I do think estate agents are worth their weight in gold with like the sales progression.
Well, they're doing what I do. They nurture it, don't they? At the end of the day, they want their fee. So the quicker that sale goes through, the better for them. And also, they know if they nurture it and it goes through quicker, it means that there's less likelihood of it falling through. Are you with me? So, well, you'll know. You're an estate agent yourself, aren't you? So.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. So I think the ones I've done in direct to vendor, I think one took 8 months, one took like 9 months, and one of them, it was like a messy split, and they both just wanted rid. And one of the lady lived where we are, and the ex-husband lived in Australia. So that was just like, oh my god, a nightmare.
Two completely different time zones. That's going to be a pain in the arse.
That's it. And obviously getting paperwork back, they want wet signatures. You know, it's oh god, it was a headache. But and this one we had, the one I'm doing right now, that was direct to vendor, and that's been a headache as well. They lost the title deeds of all things. So they had to.
I've just bought one literally a month ago.
Same thing.
Never had any title deeds. This guy's lived in it since the day dot, from what I can gather. Lived in it. He's gone into a home. He actually called us out as a building company to do some work on it because it got subsidence.
Wow.
We give him a price. They couldn't afford to have the works done. He just needed some money to go into his home, to retire into this home, and saw the signs on the side of my van, "We buy any house," and she asked me if I wanted to buy it. So
wow,
right place, right time. Are you with me? And we ended up buying that property for 38 grand.
Wow.
So it's literally due come out of legals middle of next week. So
that's incredible. That. Do you get a lot of stuff like that?
Yeah, I get quite. I mean, we had Andy Hubbard on the week before you, and I was just saying to him, the trade that I'm in, when we're parked up doing works and people see the vans and things, if they've got things like land and properties that are knackered, that are for sale, that only a builder can kind of put right, we get a lot of people just like coming and knocking on the van window and asking us if we're interested and stuff like that.
That's amazing.
But yeah, a lot of like jobs we will go and price, we could end up with a possibility of sale. I mean, I used to deal package. That was my first thing in property, and quite a lot of my packages, like the properties that I bought, came from the building company, from people coming to us, direct to vendor. Yeah.
I can imagine you get a assisted sale would work like in that situation, and obviously you bought it, which is amazing. But assisted sale could be quite a good strategy with what you're doing.
That's what we do. Obviously, we put options in front of them. We'll say it's this much for us to do the work, and then we'll say we can buy it. It's this much if we buy it in the state it's in. We can do a lease option. You can have your money. You'll have a little bit more money, but you're going to have it in 7 years. Or we could do we give them the option, and generally they'll take the one that fits them best. You're finding their pain point, aren't you?
Yeah.
Ultimately, they've got an issue that needs solving, and that this time it was that guy needs to go into a home because he can't live in the property no more. And that option that we presented him fitted him best, and that's the one they took. So
that's incredible. Lad. Do you think surely not many builders are offering that sort of service?
I think it's because I've got into property and I've got some education and I've learnt about things like that. Yeah, your average builder would say, there's your quote for doing the work. If you're not having the work done, see you later kind of thing. That'd be the end of it. But yeah, you can see that opportunity.
That's incredible.
Got to seize it, haven't you? So, yeah. So that's one that's going to complete next week, I think.
Yeah.
Just got the keys to one where, same as you, couple got divorced halfway through a refurbishment. Yeah. So we've taken it on like at plaster stage. Yeah. So them's the kind of properties that I'm buying. Are you with me?
Yeah.
So.
Do you buy here? Yeah, in Stoke.
Stoke-on-Trent,
yeah. What's the market like here then? Good or?
Yeah, pretty good, yeah. It's got, like I say, it's got its bad areas, but it's also got its very, very nice areas as well. Places where are really good for flips. Yeah. So, yeah. But anyway, less about me. You're on my podcast now.
I was thinking that then. I'm turning it on you. Oh, God.
So, yeah, well, let's go back to your podcast then. How's that going for you? Because you're getting some outstanding guests at the minute. Yeah. Obviously, it's taking off.
Really well, mate. Thank you. Yeah, I love it as well. Like, again, I appreciate you so much for coming on because there was nothing there for you to say. I think I even said to you, like, I've got people booked in, I probably never, to be honest. It was just the way of trying to get someone on. Yeah. So when you said I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. People are willing to come on. So I appreciate that massively.
Well, I was not far off starting out in the world of properties, and we were told when we got the education to get your face out there, are you with me? Which is what all the social media was about, and still is about. And to get yourself on a podcast, obviously, it's going to get you further. I mean, it's going to get you that reach. It's going to put you in front of people that you wouldn't normally get put in front of. Yeah. So your audience and not just mine, are you with me? Yeah. So it was just a no-brainer for me. And then when I come on and we had a chat, we kind of hit it off as well, didn't we? So yeah,
I love it. I don't know how you think, what you think of since starting yours, but I think it's a great way to connect with people. It's a great way to one-on-one connect with people. Like I think I'm not the greatest networker in the world. I don't really like going to your typical standard traditional networking event. It's not really for me. It feels a bit too forced. But sitting down with you now and having a chat and just chatting for an hour, You get to understand someone, you get to know what they're like, you get to know, like...
You can look them into the whites of their eyes, can't you? And you'll get to speak to people as well that you wouldn't normally get to speak to.
Exactly.
It's like having Andy Hubbard sit there, you know what I mean? The guy's in his field as an absolute legend. Yeah. You know what I mean? His following's like massive, and he's done some massive things. There isn't much chance that I would actually get to speak to him other than going to some kind of big event where he's maybe got a stall or something like that. Are you with me? So,
well, that's what I was going to say to you then. I've had people on my podcast who I've paid a consultation fee, you know, to have a call for an hour, maybe 300, 400 quid. Yeah. And then they've just come on my podcast for free, and I thought,
for nothing,
I could have literally just picked your brain exactly what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But it's because you're offering them some value, which, you know, you've got a platform and whatever, and you're offering them all this, you know, cameras and whatever, and like you say, people want to seize the opportunity, but it just baffles me. Like I say, I think there's 2 people I've had on there I've definitely paid some money to have a call, and then they've just come on for free. Whether they've come on because I pay, you know, I don't know. And you get to be in rooms with people that you wouldn't necessarily be in a room with or get to chat to. Again, if we're at a big event, there's no way I'm approaching the host, because I'm not very outgoing. I'm not that type. I'm just not. I wish I could go up and go.
To be honest, it surprises me a lot, because you do come across as quite a confident person. Are you with me?
Yeah.
So when you say that you're quite timid and you wouldn't go up and just approach someone just out of the blue, that kind of surprises me a little bit.
You know, everyone says that, and when I met you before, I was like, Rob, what's going on? Like, and really outgoing, but I've obviously spoke to you and stuff like that before. It's just when I don't know someone, I'm a bit introverted. Don't know where it comes from really, but yeah, I am quite like that. So that's why, going back to it, the podcast.
Are you the youngest brother?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's normally the case. Normally the youngest brother, gets a bit beaten down by the older brother. Yeah, a bit quieter generally. Yeah.
But that's it. But that's why I love the podcast anyway, because one-on-one, proper conversation, like you say, look into the whites of their eyes and have a real conversation with them. And you get to know them, and you might think after it, Jesus Christ, he was a knobhead. Or you might think, he was great, him, I'm going to stay in touch with him. Which is what I do with most people. I stay in touch with them, and you stay in touch, and you can build a community around it. And I love it, and it's been the best thing I've ever done. I think.
Yeah. When you started the podcast, was that around about the time when you started the social media and stuff? Yeah. Because I know you were quite a late bloomer with the social media with property, weren't you?
Yeah. I only started in November maybe October, so I was doing the content for like a month.
It's about a year, innit? I think I've been like in touch with you and following you for just over a year.
Yeah, I think you come on. I think you come on in November, so not even that long, really. Maybe 6, 7.
Oh, is that all it says?
Yeah. Time does fly. Yeah.
Does, yeah.
And since then, honestly, the opportunities that have arose from it, Rob, are just mad. Like, opportunities I've had, conversations I've had, deals that have had passed to me, deals that I've been able to source on, or I'm not a sourcer, but I get a lot of deals coming my way. And what I've been able to do, I've never been able to monetize that really. And I'm really good at picking up deals and finding deals, and that's like something I am quite gifted at, to be honest, and I'm quite consistent with it. I like doing the direct to vendor.
I suppose that's where the old estate agents comes from, isn't it? You know what I mean? That background is going to make you spot a good deal, basically. So it's a good training ground, definitely.
It is, and I always say to anyone, if you can afford the wage, because it's
that was it. You know what I mean? I couldn't have done that, because when I was 44, something like that, with 3 16-year-old, 17-year-old kids. You know what I mean? House to buy, cars and stuff. I couldn't have gone like, right, I'm jacking building and I'm going to go work in estate agents. It depends what period of life you're in.
100%. That's exactly it.
But you said something on a podcast recently as well about these young kids and about you advising them to basically get in touch with these bigger people that are on Instagram and YouTube and that, and he seemed to want to help them just because they're young, because they're intrigued by a young person being involved in property. And it kind of, I've seen a couple as well that are actually getting helped for free. Are you with me?
I believe
mentors that charge an absolute fortune normally. So
I believe that completely. Just to touch on that topic, so what I think I said was the younger people, like 18, 19, 20. So there's a lad I know. I used to have a moving company, and he worked for us for a bit, and he got in the van and he started speaking about property and crypto and all this mad stuff. Like at like 16, I thought, wow, that inspired me, because I was thinking when I was 16, that's what I was thinking. Like, so I said to him, like, you need to get yourself on social media, and he was like, yeah, but I've got no properties, or I've got no you know, I don't know this or I don't know that, and I can't show this and I can't. And I was like, it's not about that. It's about putting yourself out there, and you will pull opportunities towards you. Like you just said, I have seen people who are being mentored by big players in the game just because they're young.
Because they're young, yeah.
And I'd be leaning, if I could go back now, which I was into it then. I was into it when I was 18, 19, so I should have been doing that, but I was too nervous and scared and worried, and the same fears that he has. You know, I've got no properties, I'm not this, I'm not that, and I'll be lying. It's like, well, you're not, you're just being yourself. And
you're just basically showing people you I hate the word journey, but you keep having say it in this industry. Yeah, you've got to show people your journey, what you're getting up to, what what your day to day is and stuff like that.
Exactly.
People are interested. God knows why.
I think
but,
that, yeah.
You know what I mean? When you watch the likes of Big Brother on the TV and Love Island and all that, people are interested in just normal people. And it's like they're not doing anything interesting really. It's just day to day. But yeah, people are.
That's why the biggest.
People are nosy, aren't they?
Exactly. That's why like the biggest shows on earth are the Love Islands, the Keeping Up with the Car, the Sharon Osbourne, and all them, because people just want to see what people are doing in reality.
Yeah.
And to me, that was a hard thing for me to start putting myself out there, going on camera, and that for me, that was like the worst thing. Like I wasn't that type of person. But yeah, you just grow to become natural to it and like forget about it.
It's never really bothered me. It bothers my message more than it does me.
Does it?
Oh yeah, if I pull my phone out and I am the Bill Vesta, she'll like, fuck, Jesus Christ, I'm sick of hearing that, like, you know what I mean? But I mean, I've been in bands, you know what I mean, play guitar and sing a bit as well, and I've been in bands most of me like adult life, so standing in front of people,
no bother.
Never seemed to bother me now. And then I quite obviously I'm into videography and stuff like that, so I quite like cameras and recording and things like that. So it kind of, that was the bit I enjoyed. You know what I mean? That was when I started out and it was like, right, you need a social media presence. I was like, fucking get it, I love that, man. That's the bit I will enjoy. So, but yeah, it's hard though, posting every day without fail.
You're active as well. You're really good at it.
Well, I've backed off a bit recently because my idea was I need to post every day for a year, which I did. And I was like, I'll just keep going a little bit and keep going. And I got to a point where it then starts taking... It doesn't take long to put a post together.
Yeah.
But when you're posting it on all the platforms, so you go Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, like I've just said to you, I've just started TikTok, you know what I mean? Then YouTube as well. Yeah. YouTube's really hard.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
It takes up time, are you with me? And I enjoy this, but... sitting and doing this tonight, I'll be 2 or 3 hours putting all this together, ready to put it on YouTube, on Spotify and stuff like that. So
it's long. It's so long, and I think sometimes I've been like that. Like I was trying to post every day for a year. There's been a couple of posts where I've missed, and then I'm starting to think to myself,
you're a serial commenter.
Yeah.
Every post I look at, you've commented on.
Yeah.
It does work though, doesn't it?
Everyone says that. Everyone's like, fucking I see you everywhere. But I make sure I try and again, one of the people who was on the podcast who I've done a call with, he said set yourself KPIs of like likes and comments on people's posts, because it does come back, and that's why I get decent engagement now on some posts, and I think it's because people feel like they've got to comment back, because all I do is comment on their posts. And I try and show love anyway, and I think it's a good thing to do. Even if I don't know them, it's the clapping hands and all that on the emojis. But yeah, that I do believe in that. And back to the thing about posting every day. So I was trying to do that, and I got to the point where I still do post pretty much every day, but I got to the point where I'm thinking, I'm posting it and the quality is probably shit just because it's like 6 p.m. It's like maybe 9 at night, and I'm thinking
it's got to be valuable.
It's got to be valuable. So it'll be 9 at night, and I'm thinking, oh God, I need to work a post out, and it's like I'm going to end up posting shit quality content for the sake of just posting.
Yeah, in that situation, in my opinion, you're better off just banging a story out or something.
Yeah,
because the algorithm works as long as you post something each day. So whether it's a story, you know, a reel or a picture or something like that, as long as you utilise that platform once per day, it's not going to completely knock you off the algorithm. Are you with me? So that's the way I understand it. Anyway, someone on there might tell me I'm different. But
no, I agree with that. Yeah, I don't know too much about the algorithm. I just
Well, I've struggled, and this is a bit of a bugbear of mine. I've struggled getting the following up, but me like the people commenting and things like that, and me getting likes and shares and stuff. It's like massive. Are you with me? So I'm not getting massive following, but I'm getting it in other ways. Are you with me? But I see that as more valuable because they are people that are interested.
Yeah, it's
not just someone who's followed you because, you know, they like a pretty picture that you've posted, or you've posted something. I mean, I posted once a video of just some mortar being turned over and a couple of lads on site, and they had 1 million views. It was a shit video, you know what I mean? But because it had like popular music behind it, I forget what they call it now, like a good a track that's had like big hits on Instagram. Yeah, and it just blew up, but it was shit. And it's like, that's, you know, it's got me 1 million views nearly, but it's done nothing for me, you know what I mean? No one's actually interacted with it or anything like that.
That's it, it's all good. And again,
it's got to be relevant, I think.
Definitely, and it's all good, like you say, it's all good having 15,000 followers, but you only really need, it depends what you're doing it for, doesn't it? Are you doing it for investments? Are you doing it for, I don't know.
If you got 15,000 followers and only 100 of them are interested in what you're doing, or interested in being in business with you or anything like that, there's no point in the others. I'd rather have a lower following of fully engaged 100%. People. Are you with me? So that's my strategy anyway, but we'll see if it works or not. I'll tell you in about 5 years time when,
That's funny, Rob, that's funny.
Right, so what is next for you then? What are you looking to do in property that you kind of, where do you see yourself in, I won't say 5 years because everyone says that, let's say 7 years.
I'd say 7 years. Do you know what? I've got to the point now where I just enjoy, I enjoy property. Like the money that comes with it is amazing. It's great, flips amazing, but I do enjoy, like, it's something that, I know this is a bit cringy and a bit cliche, but you know when someone says, what would you do as work if you had to work for free? It probably would be property, because I love it. I literally love it. You must love your job.
I do. I love the property side, and I wish I could do that a hell of a lot more, and I wish I could do stuff like this a hell of a lot more. The construction, I do like it a lot more now I'm into property, because it's brought a bit of love back for it. But before I started, I'd done 30 years, so it was like, you know, I've had enough of this now. It's like, I want to, the idea was to start property and just completely do away with construction. But I didn't realise when I got into it that they kind of tie in together really well. And I was like pushed to build a construction company alongside the property as well. So, which I kind of fell into. But having spoken to Andy Hubbard the other day, he thinks I'm crazy. So why are you working for other people doing extensions and loft conversions and things like that? You should be utilising that building company to build your own properties to make more money out of. And not having customers at the end of the day, are you with me? Which basically the customers are the ones in a construction company that cause you the headache.
Oh,
how customers are terrible. It's why I've stopped deal packaging as well, because I don't know if you're watching investors, but you can be that pains in the arse. You know what I mean? Worse than customers sometimes. They want unicorn deals. You know what I mean? They want to drive up from London and choose tile colours and things like that, which is, you know what I mean? It's an investment property. Doesn't really matter as long as it rents out. It's nice, clean, tidy, and maintainable more than anything else. That's the main thing. Are you with me?
So, but property, I just get enjoyment out of it. And again, it's cliche, but I do like turning a house that's an absolute shithole that cannot be lived in to something that's beautiful. That's what I like that. I also love the directive industry. I love being a detective and finding houses, and then watching me from sending one letter being an absolute shithole, boarded up, maybe an ex, like the one of the one we done was it's like an ex-weed farm. We never done it in the end, but like turning that from seeing it on the local newspaper to being a cannabis farm to then owning it, and I just get enjoyment out of that kind of stuff. I love it. I absolutely love it, and I don't think I'd ever want to do anything else. The money is great that comes with it, but I think it's the enjoyment of. I've always liked property. I said on another podcast, when I was younger.
So you've not really got an end game, have you? You're just kind of doing it because you enjoy it, basically.
Yeah, I think I have in my head, like I want good cash flow from it, really. When I say cash flow, I want good profit from it. It's all good having good cash flow, but if you haven't got good profits, it's fucking pointless, isn't it? So I want good profit from it. Maybe, you know, if I could get to 20,000
a month,
I'm happy anyway. I'm always
happy with that as well.
Yeah. I'm happy anyway. I don't think I'd like to get into like the building game in terms of like building houses. I don't know, but I mean, it's like a stepping stone people take, isn't it? They build
it's kind of. When I started it all, I said to Andy, that's my end game. I want to build my own properties. That's what ultimately what I wanted to do. Yeah. But I just saw like buying property and developing those as, you know, a way to get into that. So a stepping stone, are you with me? But now I've got into it, I really enjoy it, are you with me? So it's kind of, goalposts move a lot, don't they?
They do. Like if I heard myself saying this maybe even a year ago, I'd be like, why is he saying that? But now I think I just want to enjoy everything I do. That's what I want to be like. I want to enjoy everything I do, and like you say, the goalposts do move and things do change, and you might thought, like you being in the building game for 30 years, you might start to think like, fucking hell, this is a bit much now. I've done this for 30 years. I might get to that stage, but right now...
But having the, you know what I mean? If you've built up that cash flow or that profit, you've got the option to, are you with me?
You've got the option to.
Whereas a lot of people are stuck in jobs or stuck in things that they do, and they've got no option to move. They've just got to keep doing it. So
it's a scary place to be, isn't it? It's a sad place to be if you feel like you can't get out. But I was lucky enough to start quite young and stuff like that, and I had my parents who were, you know, if anything went wrong, I can stay there or whatever. So some people aren't in that fortunate position, are they?
Yeah, but you've worked hard, mate. You know what I mean? Having all of those jobs, like, from what I can see, you were like pretty much never in the house, either working or sorting property out or something.
Yeah,
so
that's it. And I think that's a mentality you need to have. Anyway, I think you just need to be a hard worker regardless.
Yeah, regardless of what you're doing. If you're sitting in the office and ringing clients up to make sales, or whether you're literally on site laying bricks or knocking nails in, hard work pays off regardless of wherever you're doing it. You know what I mean?
It does.
Yeah, and we're all cogs in a machine, right down from the cleaners up to the CEOs. You know what I mean? We're all making it happen, kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. So. What is... I forgot what I was going to say now. I just completely lost my train of thought. I've normally got notes up on that board, Steve, but I've just said to you, just want to have a chat, basically.
Yeah, that's it. So, I like it. I prefer the conversational way. I think you can... It's a nicer way to do it rather than... I think anyway, and I think...
Is that what you do on your pod then? Do you have a few notes, or you just literally...
It depends, really. It depends who the person is. Some people are like drawing blood from a stone, aren't they? Some people can just chat away. Like, I think I can chat. Like, I think I'm one of the people who can chat. Not to blow smoke up my own arse, but if I like you and stuff, you know, it flows nicely. But if it's some people are just really hot. I think it's good to have a couple of questions anyway, just in case the conversation goes the wrong way or it goes dead or whatever. But I prefer the conversational way because I feel like it flows better and you get to see who they naturally are. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, it's one of them. If you're asking questions, especially if they already know the question before you know what I mean? Because I've had some people said, "Oh, there are a set of questions that you're going to ask."
Yeah, no, I have.
Come on, things like that. And I was like, "No, what? Is there anything you don't want me to ask?"
Yeah.
Or, I've just asked you, haven't you, before we come on? Is there anything you don't want to talk about or anything like that? But no, I generally think just a chat in a room, two people.
Yeah.
Just having a bit of back and forth, it draws the best content out, I think. So.
It definitely does. And again, it goes back to what we were saying about social media. People are more interested in that side of things, I think. You know, just seeing two people just chatting and just chat shit about property, basically. I think people enjoy that more because it's more interesting when it's structured. It's good when it's structured, but I mean, if you're asking questions, and usually it is the same when you listen to podcasts, it's the same questions, isn't it? It's like where'd you start, and then it goes to like this, and it is usually the same because there is only so much you can talk about unless you're having a conversation, and it goes to different places.
A bit off on a tangent and stuff like that. So let's go back to actual property then. So obviously up till now you've been kind of funding your own deals just through pure hard work, saving, what have you. is like trying to raise investments something that you?
It's something I'm going to
do?
start doing this year. Definitely. I've got for the next one. We've got a joint venture partner on, and we're looking to raise finance this year. Yeah, that's why I started the podcast, the content sort of thing, because I think if no one knows what you're doing, I'm very secretive, which is bad on my part.
Yeah, you can be the best property developer in the world. If no one knows who you are or what you're doing, no one's going to invest in you.
That's exactly it. And someone was saying that about like a builder, for say, if you could be the best at, you know, building kitchens or whatever, or building houses, but if no one knows what you're doing, you're not going to get custom. So you need to be the sort of, I listen to a podcast and he always says you need to be the marketeer of your business, and that's what it is. Because if no one knows what you're doing, you can't get investments, you can't get funds or whatever. But yeah, that's why I started the podcast, to sort of start raising investments, because if you truly want to scale, I think you've got to raise money, haven't you?
Well, yeah, it's happened for me like recently, over the last couple of months. You know what I mean? I've raised investment from one person. It's not in the traditional form, are you with me, of giving 10% back and over a year and that's it. It's an equity partner, basically.
Nice.
She's come in as an equity within the property portfolio company.
That's amazing, mate, because I remember you saying to me on my podcast that's exactly what you wanted to do.
Yeah, well, that was a year ago. No, it wasn't. It was about 8 months ago.
Yeah, 7 months ago.
So it's took me 8 months to do it.
It's incredible.
And don't get me wrong, there's been times where I've been like, I give up because it's just not working. Like you say, posting every day, and you don't post asking, you post, you give value out, and people can actually see what you're doing. You're giving valuable information. People hopefully think this guy knows what he's talking about. Yeah, and when I actually found Angela, the woman that come on board with me, she told me one of the first things she said was, I've been watching you for about 7 or 8 months. Which is like spooky, you know what I mean? Since the pretty much to the day I announced I was going to be doing that kind of thing and looking for that, she's been watching me, and it was one particular post in the end that caught her attention, and she just said, she actually said to me, her words were, this guy speaks my language. It turns out she lives up the road. She's from Stoke herself. She's been watching me forever, and we kind of. It doesn't happen overnight. No. You know what I mean? We've had meeting after meeting. We've sat down. I've been to her house. She's been to my house. Building that bit of trust. Yeah. Because if people don't trust you, they won't invest. No. You know what I mean? They've got to trust you. They've got to like you and know you. And it's
that's super interesting, that, and you hear that a lot, don't you? Like, they've been watching you for years, not years, but they've been watching you for months and months and months, and then, like you say,
that trust doesn't just come just like that through one video. They pick it up over time. Are you with me? It's like the Big Brother thing, isn't it? You know what I mean? You see all the guests go in. You don't know who's going to win at first, and then all of a sudden you find yourself rooting for one particular one for no reason really, other than you quite like that person. It's the same it's the same scenario with finding investment, I think.
I've had some people approach me, and I just thought, do I really want to work with them? Like, I could tell from the bat.
I turned 3 people down.
Yeah,
and some people thought I was crazy.
Yeah, but it did, like, especially.
It's gonna be like a marriage. You're gonna be with them. I'm gonna be with this lady pretty much in business for the very minimum the next 5 years. Yeah. You know what I mean? If not forever, you know what I mean? Our children could be in business together when we both die. Yeah. With the model that we've put together. So it's got to be the right person, are you with me? Yeah. You can't just jump into bed with anybody. Yeah. And then, and things like, the amount of people that you see on Facebook saying, have you got like a contract I can nick for do this JV deal and stuff, and it makes me cringe. It's like, go to a solicitor. You know what I mean? You're talking a lot of money and things could go seriously wrong. Make sure you've got it written down in black and white 100%. Properly, you know what I mean? Yeah.
I love that you thought you've gone and done exactly what you said you're going to do, though, mate. That's incredible. That is absolutely incredible, and kudos to you.
It's one of them. I try to be kind of inch wide, mile deep.
Because you were quite specific with it, wasn't you?
Yeah, I've always been like that. But like I said, Andy Hubbard threw me off my course the other day. Honestly, we've had that chat, and then obviously he didn't mention too much about it on air, but when we got outside, we're having a chat. He's into mountain biking, so I showed him my bikes and stuff. Yeah, and he was like, you need to be developing, mate. You know, you've got all the infrastructure there to do it straight away. You've even got the money with the investor. Why are you not doing it? So
what type of development is that? Like actual new build houses?
he basically, he'll buy a plot of land with planning, or he'll buy it without planning and maybe buy it on an option. And then when they've got the planning, they exercise the option to buy the land, and then they'll build. He doesn't do massive developments. He says you don't need to. He'll build like 2 or 3 bungalows on a plot of land, or even just one house. Build it out, put it up for sale, sell it, and kind of realise the profit. So, but some of the profits he's making's scary. They're absolutely scary. And he is of the opinion, he says you've got to do a couple each year to make yourself £200,000 after all of your expenses. And he says I will tell you now, there isn't a person on this earth that could like spend £200,000 every year. You'd struggle to spend it. So having £200,000 in your back pocket every year, he says that's what I do. I basically make 200 grand a year. He says I drive a Lamborghini, I've got a nice house, and
there's only so much you can have, isn't there?
Yeah, and it's like this guy's got it. He's got it sorted. You know what I mean? Yeah,
it's interesting that.
But meeting, like you said, this podcast, I've met some interesting people. You know, doing different things, and it gets you thinking, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it? I had, like you said, and I think you commented on the video, I had Paul Stapleton on, and the way he runs his business just blew my mind. I was like, the sourcing business he has, the way he's streamlined it and the way he's done it, it's just like,
he's properly niched down on it, hasn't he? He's got a specific niche.
It's amazing,
and he hasn't deviated from it, and it's worked. So
that's it. I think he's saying his average fee deal sourcing fees like over 10 grand or so. It's just mad. And the way he has streamlined it, he's made a process and a system, like you say, hasn't diverted from it, and just got his own niche and made it work. And I think you do speak to some people and they start making you think like, wow, what they're doing is incredible. And you start rethinking things, don't you?
Some people are just so fixed minded, aren't they? They pick something and they like a flipping bulldog. They just go and they don't give up until they've got what they want. So like you say, take my hat off to
most definitely.
Alright mate, looking at that clock now, we're kind of 47 minutes, so people are going to start getting bored of us now. So better wrap it up, haven't we? So I feel like I could just sit here and talk all day with you though. Just chew the fat basically. But yeah, if people want to get hold of you,
most definitely,
where can they get hold of you?
If anyone wants to get hold of me, Instagram's probably the best place. I do also have a podcast called Husslin with Houses, so listen to that. But Rob, I just want to take the opportunity, thank you so much for inviting me on, and also coming on my podcast when
I need to come on again, to be honest, on film.
I said that to you. When you come to, what we'll do is we'll sort another day, and you'll be on the next round, and we'll get you there.
Well, we could just change seats now. Just shoot another.
the way I work, I was kind of asking you questions anyway. It's like, fucking hell, whose podcast is this? But again, thank you so much, and I appreciate you anyway.
Mate, it's been amazing chatting to you. And that's it, guys. So if you'd like to kind of subscribe and follow or whatever it is, depending whether it's on Spotify or YouTube, that'd be a great help for us. We'll catch you again. Cheers.